temperatures were predicted to be at 8 o'clock in the morning, so at 8 a.m., we had a temp in Fahrenheit, and I'm going to make sure that that gets put on my table here, of 52 degrees. And then at 10 o'clock, we have a predicted temperature of 64 degrees. At noon, put that in terms of my problem. I want the